This is Orlando Sentinel Now.
Hello and welcome. It's Monday, July 12th, and this is Orlando Sentinel Now. Today, we're talking about deputies and social media posts. We're also talking about attractions coming back to iDrive and National Picnic Month. I'm your host, Joe Mario Pedersen, and joining me today, I have criminal justice reporter Grace Toohey, theme park reporter Dwayne Bevel, and food columnist Amy Drew Thompson. Thank you all so much for being here. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Grace, kicking things off with you and one of your latest headlines. Advisory Board for Orange County Sheriff's Office recommends limits for deputies' social media posts. Now, that advisory board being the Citizen Advisory Committee. And as I just said, they're advising some limits due to some recent actions on TikTok by deputies. Can you tell us more about what they're advising?
Yeah, so this is a citizens advisory group. So it's local citizens, they're not law enforcement officers who actually create policy recommendations for Orange County Sheriff John Mina. And so what they came up with most recently is that if deputies are in uniform or on duty, so that means they're at work currently, or they maybe just got off work or on a lunch break and still wearing their uniform, they're proposing that they would have to get permission from a supervisor or through some official channel at the agency to post on social media if they're in uniform or on duty at the time. And so this has come up because we have seen a few instances recently where some deputies have been disciplined for actually posting on social media in uniform and on duty that has come off as inappropriate in some way. So there have been two deputies who are on TikTok and posting videos of them. A lot of them are just, them dancing or talking to the camera. But what we've found is, or what the agency has found, is that, a lot of times in the background, there's music that might be sexually explicit or using curse words, things that they wouldn't want affiliated with the agency. And also other things as well, filming people who maybe haven't given permission to be filmed, or, just talking about work in a way that might not be seen as professional. So they had this Citizens Advisory Board review the social media policy to try and tighten it up a little bit. So we'll see actually if Sheriff John Mina accepts this policy recommendation. We're not sure what will happen next. This is just their latest recommendation.
Certainly more to follow on that story. If you guys are trying to get caught up on it, take a look at Grace's work online at orlandosentinel.com. Grace, thank you so much. All right, Dwayne, I want to come over to you now. As things are kind of adjusting back into a new normal, we are seeing the return of attractions over on iDrive. And as you pointed out in one of your latest reports, they are adjusting into a post pandemic reality.
Right. So a lot of things have been back on iDrive, sort of straightforward attractions, but sort of the stage shows, it's been a challenge. Like there was that intermediate stage where you could do to-go food and things like that, and some spacing that didn't really work in a theatrical eating sort of way. But lately, in the past few weeks, we've had some come back. Mango's Tropical Cafe, which had a sit-down dinner and sort of a Vegas-style stage show thing, has just come back, but they've rebooted themselves a little bit more as a nightclub, which they already were, but now there's an emphasis on nightclub and sort of a main act early and then shifting into DJ later. It's drawing big crowds. Other places have tweaked their productions, like during the downtime. Titanic has added live music to its first class dinner gala, and made it even more dramatic, if you can imagine. And then the Pirates Dinner Adventure added this Teatro Martini. It's kind of a burlesque thing with stage acts and all this. And what's interesting about a lot of these is it was about 80% tourists, maybe 20% locals, and now the numbers have flopped. So they may have to adjust again once the convention center comes back in full strength. So it's a moving target, and they're moving with it.
I'm glad you brought up the audience there, Dwayne. So I'm wondering, in watching these shows and just kind of being in that environment, what did the crowd sizes feel like? I mean, did it feel like it was before the pandemic, or are we seeing bigger crowds?
They are pleased with their turnout, which seems to be ample. Biggest crowds we've had. Lots of people calling in for Titanic, which had been open, but the dinner show hadn't been open. They feel comfortable with the amount of crowd they're drawing. It seems like it's a hard ticket right now.
Absolutely. And all the shows that you just mentioned looked pretty cool, especially that Titanic show. Definitely piqued my interest. If you're all looking for information, of course, take a look at OrlandoSentinel.com, where Dwayne's work is available right now. Dwayne, thanks a lot. All right, Amy Drew, round of the corner here. You've always seemed to find out when there are these months of celebrations for food. And this time, we have National Picnic Month, which I didn't know was a thing, but I'm really glad it exists. I love picnics, and you've been talking about ways to very conveniently do picnics. One way is by method of baskets and blankets. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, I think for us, we should have National Picnic Month more in like the January, February, March is probably better suited for us. But hey, July is great too. And we just had so much rain. So I think everybody's ready to get outside and do something anyway. So yeah, baskets and blankets I just stumbled across them. I can't even remember because it was a while back on Instagram and I saw it. And just like everybody's reaction to the piece has been, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that existed. It's this incredible, very high end. It's the picnic that you always wanted, but you were like, I can't bring a rug to the park. Well, they will bring a rug to the park and they will lay it out with these beautiful seats, or you can sit on the rug. They have low tables. They give you wine, charcuterie, umbrellas, macrame teepees. It is like you're living in an Instagram post for your 2 hours or whatever you book. And it's magnificent. And if you want to go with the upsells, you can have a professional photographer really give you that Instagram experience and take your shots for you. It's great for romantic dates, proposals, anniversaries, but you can also have a girls' day, a baby shower, a birthday party. They'll do whatever you want. It's tailor-made.
It looks really elegant, or a really, really fun idea. But for those who are wanting to go on a picnic and maybe they're looking for a more economical option, you've also offered another choice here. What was that?
Absolutely. When Neola General opened a while back, they had already built themselves as a one-stop picnic shop, which they really have been since the beginning, even though they've evolved over time. They've always had available really good cheeses and wines and things that you would take to the park. Anyway, plus their location is phenomenal for several area parks. So you could just jump on a bike, go over there, grab what you need, and head out to the park. And now they're making it even easier. They have picnic baskets to go, basically boxes to go. And for between $55 and $60, you can get vegetarian, vegan, or omnivorous options with cheese and charcuterie and baguette and all kinds of really delicious things that you can just take and go. And for an upsell, natural wine. Always throw that on there for some fun. So, and it's more economical, yes, than the bespoke experience that you'll get with baskets and blankets, but it's a little bit more of an everyday thing than a big splurge.
I've got an anniversary coming up, so I very much appreciate this idea. Might be
Oh
able to
my
get some points in that
gosh.
department.
The look on the person's face you go with when you wind up at that picnic spot is just unbelievable. It's worth the price of admission right there.
Oh, and real quick on baskets and blankets, I believe you also pointed out in the report that reservations book out at least a month in advance. Is that right?
That is correct. And since the piece dropped on Friday, we don't know, but you should probably just get in there and get your query in and pick your date. But they're really, really flexible, which is nice because the first time that I booked, the weather was not fantastic. They will take a deposit, I think, which is half, if I remember correctly, of whatever the price is. And she just held on to that. And when a good day came up, we just went for it and it was a phenomenal experience. So, she's happy to work with you. Her name is Sarah Branson and she's wonderful.
Well, there you go. If you're looking for a fun day out, take a look at Amy Drew's column for more information at OrlandoSentinel.com, where, of course, you can find more information on all the stories that we talked about here today. And for those of you who are subscribed to the Orlando Sentinel, thank you so much for continuing to support local journalism and our work. If you want to become a supporter, it's easy to do so. All you need to do is visit OrlandoSentinel.com/subscribe. But as for OSN, that is our show here for today. A big thank you to Grace, Dwayne, and Amy Drew for keeping us filled in what's going on in our community. We'll be back again with more news tomorrow at noon. We'll see you then. Stay healthy and stay safe.
Watch Orlando Sentinel Now live every weekday at noon on our Facebook page and on OrlandoSentinel.com.